Hi, so in this video I'm going to give some tips for how to stay vegan. So first of all, I have been vegan for like plant-based. I haven't eaten any red meat or drinking cow's milk or something like this for um, I would say for like, is it 5 years? Something 4 or 5 years. So it's quite a long time. And I mean, of course, if there has been anything, for example, cow's milk in anything by accident, I maybe have gotten something, by accident, but not by a conscious decision. So conscious decision, I have like been vegan for approximately 4 or 5 years. And my sort of journey with it, because I have done like a health coach program in the university, and I have also studied public health in university, so I sort of have an understanding for the nutritional aspect of and the behavior aspect and sort of psychological background of these things. And it can be very hard to sort of make the transition from eating, these forms of brown meat products into eating colorful things that have a completely different texture. And I mean, if you're starting eating beans and lentils and different not vegetable, but like plant-based protein sources, that might be a shock for the perception. Like, you maybe will think that, oh, you do not get full because you are eating something that doesn't look like meat. But your body is very intelligent, so as you go about and you sort of starting to adapt these plant-based protein sources, your body is also going to start to crave those plant-based protein sources. So this might take a couple of months, so do not expect something to happen within 24 hours. And also to take it step by step. Do not be too harsh when you're making this transition. Take it, maybe change out your breakfast. So start by adopting a plant-based breakfast. That's probably the most simple thing. Now I'm sort of making an assumption, but breakfasts are typically considering some form of carb source. So it's quite simple to actually transition the breakfast into a fully plant-based alternative. And also today, like for anyone who's going plant-based today, it's really a lot easier, because there are so many meat look-alike substitutes. There are plant-based substitute for meat that even taste like meat, and for most people who are very used to eating meat, that's going to be very easy, when there is things that look exactly like meat but it's not meat. For me, since I've been vegan for quite a long time, for a couple of years, and also before that I was like vegetarian, I do not crave anything that even look like meat. I prefer to just not even consider things that look like meat. And that is because the body adapts into the things that it is consuming. It's sort of, you will crave whatever you are eating, and the more of these plant-based substitutes for meat that you are eating, the more you're going to crave them. So just by knowing that, you might be more confident in actually sort of testing it out and see how it goes. And also to ensure you're getting enough with fat, and this might seem contradictory because I know that a lot of people who have this idea about going plant-based or vegan, they also thinking about some making some body change, for example losing weight. But the thing is, fats are really important, you know, in order for you to absorb all of the nutrients, the micronutrients, because there are certain micronutrients that require some presence of fat in order to be absorbed. So if you are like cutting out all fat, you are going to feel more hungry, and you are also going to crave more, because you know, the fat, as I said, is really important for absorbing the micronutrients, you know, that are fat soluble, you know. So, or like oil soluble, like you basically need fat in order to absorb, for example, D vitamin and so forth. So that is one thing, but of course choose your fat wisely, because you do not need to consume, for example, a bunch of coconut oil. You can choose, for example, avocados and different forms of nuts and seeds, to sort of get a variety of different fats, and especially the more healthy considered fats, you know. And another thing very important is also to get a lot of greens in your diet, because the greens have some of the micronutrients that you would actually find in meat. So for example, iron and so forth. It's really good to ensure that you're getting enough of greens, because then you are not going to be deficient of any of the or you most likely are not going to be deficient if you are consuming greens as well, you know. And that is even important whether or not you are plant-based or vegan. Even if you are eating animals, like if you're eating meat, it's still important to get greens into your diet. So that is one thing. And also, you know, of course, carbs. Probably as vegan you're going to eat more carbs, maybe, but good carbs, you know. Quality is the key here. So don't consume junk, you know, but choose the carbs, you know, and choose the more whole grain types of you know, stuff. And the more like natural products is often the better, you know. If you're eating the whole foods, you know, it's going to be better for you than if you're eating something that has been processed. And also, I mean, most people today are buying their foods in supermarkets, and that can be one of the challenges in order to actually eat healthy and to go plant-based, because the supermarkets are, you know, arranged in an order that is going to create more sales of products, you know. And especially those kind of junk foods and crisps and candy, they are like strategically, you know, placed out in the shop, in the supermarket, to create more sales of the specific products. So to be a consumer in a supermarket requires some, you know, conscious awareness of where you are, you know, walking around in the supermarket. I mean, if you are going to be plant-based and you're just making the transition, do not even walk through the, you know, alleys and stuff where the meat is sold. Just skip that section. Instead, when you're coming into the supermarket, just go directly to the fruit and vegetable section, and also to, you know, where they have the beans and like lentils and all these types of things, the grains and stuff. Just take those sections and avoid everything else, because that's going to make you a lot more easier to actually buy the things that are plant-based, you know. Because if you're hungry when you're going to buy your food, it's more likely you're going to end up with a lot of junk in your basket. I mean, if you have the option, you can also go to farmer markets, you know, local markets where they maybe are selling organic foods, and just, you know, selling only like whole food, plant-based, like vegetables and fruits. I mean, that's there, right there you are like avoiding all of these potential meat products that you maybe otherwise would be tempted to get. But I think for a lot of people, it's not the meat that is the main problem. I think it's more about these cow's milk products that might be the problem. Because, for example, cheese and a lot of products like also contain cow's milk. And so read the ingredients list, and if you just making the transition into plant-based, try and just cut out all these half fabricat, like fabricat, I don't know if it's the word in English, but just all these products that are not whole foods, just initially. And if you need like some sauce or whatever, you know, ensure that it is vegan, but that might require in the beginning some more like reading and sort of grasping the ingredients lists, you know. And then to sort of ensure that you are eating throughout the day when you are active, you know. So your body is, after you have been fasting, while you've been sleeping, that's like the breakfast is like when your body is absorbing most nutrients, because you have been fasting for quite a few hours while you were sleeping, and then the breakfast is like your body is ready to absorb nutrients. So it's a really good idea to ensure that your breakfast is, you know, covering all of the different groups of nutrients. So getting some fats and getting some carbs and getting some proteins and some micronutrients. And then the rest of the day is going to be much easier because you are already fueled up, you know, and your body has already got quite a good start of the day. And for some people it's hard to eat breakfast, but if you have to get up super early in the morning, you maybe can ensure that you have breakfast after a couple of hours. That is like including a lot of good things, you know. And then I would also say that try and make a routine for yourself that you are not eating late in the, first of all, don't eat at night unless you are like working at night, and also to not eat too late, because your body is healing from like 10 p.m. Until a couple of hours during the night. And during that time it is not optimal to be processing food. It's more likely that if you're eating during the night and late at night, like late in the evening, that your body is going to store those energy, and that's going to be fat on your body. So much better to eat during the day and to ensure you have, you know, like an early dinner, and then you will be able to process that energy a couple of hours before you go to bed, and then you will have like a fasting while you are sleeping, and have a nice breakfast, you know. And also to have some snacks. There's no problem in having snacks throughout the days, or throughout the day, but just ensure that they are plant-based. And I mean, there is quite a lot of options today, you know. You can buy all these, you know, energy bars, and you know, there's like this whole trend currently going on with vegan, plant-based stuff. Like when I went vegan, it was not like that. When I went vegetarian, everyone around me said that I would be dead after if I went vegetarian, you know, because in that time when I went vegetarian, it was like, it was not a mainstream thing to do, you know. It was everyone was eating meat, and there was not so much substitutes and like for plant-based alternatives to meat, you know, in the supermarkets. But nowadays you can find really nice yogurts, you can find really nice, you know, plant-based milks and stuff. So it's a lot easier to make this transition now. And also to, you know, there can be an aspect to this when you're going plant-based, that individuals around you who are eating meat are going to attack you. And you have to have good arguments, and you have to be very sort of knowing the reasons to why you are doing this, you know, because if you can write down the reasons to why you are really intending to go plant-based, and then you are looking at those things every day for like a couple of months, every day in the morning or in the evening or wherever, you just have a look at that list of your reasons to being plant-based, and after some time your brain is going to be like connecting into those things, and it's going to be part of who you are and how you are thinking, you know. And then it will be so much easier in any situation to just stay to what you feel is the truth for you, you know. And there is quite, you know, the good part here is that there is a lot of good reasons to go vegan and to sort of be plant-based. I mean, you can take the animal aspect, you can take your own personal health aspect, you can take the convenience aspect, because it is quite convenient to be plant-based. You do not even need a kitchen to be plant-based. And also the animal aspect, I mean, you are not causing harm on the animals. So I mean, and as I said, health aspects for yourself. So I mean, there's quite a lot of things you can actually, you know, sort of gather together for reasons. And whatever your reasons are, they are valid, you know. So just feel like you don't have to be like having the reason because of the environment, because nowadays a lot of people are just going vegan because of the environment, and that's more like a trend. But I mean, if your reasons is because of your health or whatever, that's also a valid reason. It doesn't have to be just because of the environment. I mean, you are still doing a favor for the environment, but I mean, whatever you feel is, you know, working for you as an argument for you being plant-based, it's going to be, you know, good enough. So, and also another thing is, ensure you're drinking enough water. So avoid like soda, because soda has so much sugar and that's going to start make you crave more sugar. So try and drink a lot of water throughout the day so you're staying hydrated. And yeah, and just if to make it simple in the beginning, try and eat, you know, like balanced meals, so you're getting all of the nutrients in each of the meals, because then your body is going to be more full and satisfied. And take those snacks depending on your day. And also another thing quite important, I would say, is to exercise, because exercising is balancing your sort of nutritional cravings, you know. If you are keeping up some workout, your body is sort of not going to over crave or be like hungry all the time. I mean, some people say, oh, if you're working out, you're going to be hungry all the time. Of course you're going to be hungry because you are using more energy as you are exercising, but you're not going to, for example, exercise is actually stress reducing, and a lot of people are eating more junk when they are stressed. So if you can reduce your stress, you're going to crave less junk, and that means that if you're exercising, you are sort of taking control of the stress, and you're gaining a lot of positive, you know, positive things from doing the exercise, and it's also going to sort of balance what you actually are craving, because often if you actually exercising, you're going to want to eat more healthy food, you know. So, and yeah, so, and just know the reasons behind why you're doing it is very important. And then to ensure you're getting B12 in a supplement is quite good. And also, if you do not live somewhere where it's super sunny, ensure you're getting some D vitamins. There are vegan D vitamins And also avoid omega-3, these tablets with omega-3 if they are from fish oil, because obviously fish oil is not vegan. And what else? I think that is some of the good tips. If you find it hard to eat greens, green leafy vegetables, try some green juice and smoothies, because that's very easy to sort of get a lot of nutrients in one, in one go. As well, these green powders are also really good. I would recommend them quite. And there is even tablets with, for example, spirulina and stuff, if that is more easy for you to sort of take in. So I hope that was helpful. But yeah, anyway,